The arrival of the alien girl. The war was finally over, but the scars were still fresh. All across the battered human outpost, soldiers were cleaning up the ruins, trying to find some hope among the broken buildings and the silent sky. Captain. Raylan stood alone near the edge of the main camp, his eyes fixed on the road that led to the alien lands. No one knew what peace would look like. Everyone expected more trouble. Then, one afternoon, a large alien transport ship arrived, flying low and slow above the ground. Its engines made a deep, strange sound. Soldiers gathered, their hands on their weapons. No one trusted the aliens, not after the long and bloody war. The ramp opened, and several tall, armored alien guards stepped out. They held their weapons but did not raise them. Between them, a small figure walked, her head low, long silver hair covering her face. Her wrists and ankles were bound with energy cuffs that glowed blue. She wore a simple white robe, stained and torn. The lead alien guard looked at Raylan and spoke in a rough human accent. "This is your peace gift, as agreed. She belongs to you now." Whispers rushed through the crowd of soldiers. Some looked shocked, others angry, and some just curious. A few laughed coldly. Everyone expected Raylan to take charge and treat the alien girl as property. After all, that was how the aliens had treated human prisoners. Raylan stepped forward. He could see the alien girl shaking with fear. Her skin was pale, almost shining in the sunlight, and her eyes, when she dared to look up, were bright green, filled with terror and shame. She looked so young, barely an adult. The guards pushed her forward. "She is yours," the alien guard repeated. "You may do as you wish." Raylan paused. He saw the fear in her eyes, the pain on her face, and the silent begging for mercy. He turned to his own men, who waited for him to make a choice. Would he be harsh? Would he take revenge for all the humans lost? But Raylan was different. He dropped to one knee so he could look the alien girl in the eyes without scaring her. The crowd fell silent. "What's your name?" he asked softly. The alien girl blinked, confused. She did not answer. Raylan smiled, gentle and patient. He slowly reached out and pressed a button on the energy cuffs. With a quiet hiss, they unlocked and fell to the ground. Some soldiers gasped. Others whispered, "Is he crazy?" Someone muttered. The girl stared at her freed hands. For a moment, she did not move. She was sure this was a trick, that punishment would come soon. Raylan stood up and took off his own jacket. He wrapped it around her thin shoulders. "You're safe now," he said. "You don't belong to anyone. You are free." The alien guards exchanged looks and quickly returned to their ship. They had finished their job. As the transport lifted off and left, Raylan gently guided the girl away from the crowd. He led her to his tent, far from the angry stares and cold laughter of the other soldiers. He gave her a place to sit, a glass of water, and a soft blanket. Girl said nothing. She watched him with wide, careful eyes. Every movement he made, she followed. She was ready to run or fight if needed. But Raylan just sat on the other side of the tent, showing her he meant no harm. Outside, the rumors started. Soldiers talked about Raylan, saying he was weak or foolish. Some joked, some got angry, but Raylan did not care. He watched the alien girl as she tried to understand what was happening. Night fell. The camp was quiet, except for the distant sound of ships and the wind. Raylan made a small meal and put it near her. He did not force her to eat. He just waited. After a long time, the alien girl reached for the food, her hands trembling. She ate slowly, watching Raylan. For the first time, her eyes were not just afraid. There was something else, a small spark of hope. Raylan smiled. "You're safe here," he repeated. "No one will hurt you." For many days, the girl said nothing. But each day, Raylan treated her with kindness. He never raised his voice, never made her feel like a prisoner. He brought her simple things, a comb for her hair, clean clothes, soft shoes. Slowly, the fear in her eyes began to fade, but trust was not easy. Each night, the girl slept in the corner, wrapped in Raylan's jacket, watching the door. She did not know if she could ever be truly freed out in the darkness. Raylan sat outside his tent and looked at the stars. He knew this was only the beginning. He had no idea what challenges would come next, or if his actions would bring peace or more war. All he knew was that he had made a choice that could change two worlds forever. And somewhere deep in the night, the alien girl whispered her name for the first time. Zephyra. Raylan smiled into the darkness. A new story was about to begin. Trust is not easy. Zephyra did not sleep that first night. Even with Raylan's jacket around her, the small tent felt strange and scary. Every sound outside made her heart race. She waited for someone to storm in and drag her away. After years of war, trust was a dangerous thing. But morning came, and Raylan did not change. He left her a tray of food and stepped outside, letting her eat alone. Zephyra studied the strange human meal. The bread was soft and warm, the fruit juicy and sweet, so different from the dry rations she once ate as a prisoner. Still, she ate only a little. She worried about poison, about tricks. Her people taught her humans could not be trusted. The war had filled both sides with fear. All day, Raylan stayed near the tent but kept his distance. He spent hours writing reports and fixing broken equipment. Sometimes he would look up and offer a small smile. Zephyra watched him, trying to understand this human who had set her free. He was tall and strong, but his eyes were gentle. She remembered how he kneeled, how he let her choose. That confused her more than any weapon. Outside the tent, the world was harsh. Soldiers whispered and pointed at Raylan's tent. Some were angry. Others were just curious. At noon, a group of officers visited Raylan. Zephyra heard their voices sharp and loud. "She's a war prize, Raylan. You should act like it," one officer barked. "She's not property," Raylan replied, calm but firm. "She's a person." "You're going soft," another man laughed. "That alien will never trust you." Raylan just shrugged. "I'm not here to hurt her." When the officers left, Zephyra peeked through a gap in the tent and saw Raylan rubbing his temples. He looked tired but not defeated. She felt a strange warmth in her chest. No one had ever defended her before. That night, Raylan returned with a small gift, a soft brush for her hair. He placed it on the bedroll and sat far away, reading a book by lantern light. Zephyra stared at the brush. On her homeworld, brushing hair was a sign of comfort. She wondered if Raylan knew that. Time passed slowly. Zephyra began to move about the tent. She watched Raylan cook, clean, and write in a small notebook. She said nothing, but her eyes followed everything he did. She waited for the moment his kindness would end. One day, it rained hard. The tent shook in the wind, and water dripped through the roof. Raylan got up and pulled another blanket from his pack. He offered it to Zephyra, shivering in the cold. "Take this," he said. "It will help." Zephyra hesitated, then took the blanket. She wrapped it around herself, watching Raylan carefully. Was this how humans acted when no one was watching? Was it real? Suddenly, a voice called from outside, two soldiers trying to enter the tent. Raylan blocked their way. "Back off," he said firmly. "We just want to see the alien girl," one soldier laughed. "You hiding her from us?" Raylan's face grew hard. "She's not a show. She's under my protection." "Leave," the soldiers grumbled, but left. Zephyra heard everything. She realized Raylan was risking his own safety for her. It made her feel safer, but also more afraid. What would happen to him because of her? That night, Zephyra found the courage to speak. Her voice was soft and shaky. "Why are you kind to me?" Raylan looked up from his notebook. "Because you deserve kindness. Not all humans want war." Zephyra thought about his answer for a long time. Where she came from, kindness was rare, always given for a reason. What did Raylan want from her? Was he different or just better at hiding his plans? The next morning, Raylan showed her the camp from a distance. He pointed to the forest, the river, and the broken ships at the edge of the field. You can leave. If you want, you're free, but it's dangerous out there. Some humans might not be friendly, he warned. Zephyra looked at the open land, then back at the tent. She realized she had a choice for the first time in her life. Her voice was of whisper. I will stay. For now, Raylan smiled. That's your choice. I'm glad. Days passed, each one a test of trust. Zephyra started to eat more. She used the hairbrush and tried to speak simple words in the human language. She watched Raylan and learned his routines. He was patient and gentle, always giving her space. But outside, danger was growing. Some soldiers did not like Raylan's decisions. They began to talk about taking Zephyra away, saying she was a threat. Zephyra overheard these whispers, her fear growing again. Still, each night, she stayed in the tent, wrapped in Raylan's jacket. For the first time, she wondered if she could ever belong somewhere new. And for the first time in a long while, she slept without fear, just a little. Enemies all around Zephyra never expected the monsters to look so normal. One morning, just before sunrise, she peeked out from the tent and saw faces she had not noticed before. Cold eyes, lips twisted in fake smiles, humans who watched her every move. Some of them looked at her with hate, others with curiosity, but none with kindness. It made her heart beat faster. Even the sky felt heavy, clouds thick and gray. Inside the tent, Raylan finished preparing a small breakfast. He greeted her like he always did, gentle and warm. Zephyra tried to smile back, but something felt different in the air. When Raylan left to speak with the officers, Zephyra sat quietly and listened. You're making a mistake, said a gruff voice. She's a risk. She could be a spy, another whispered. He's blinded by pity, said a third. We should take her away before she causes trouble. Zephyra's hands trembled as she held the cup of warm water. Was it true? Would they come for her? She stared at the thin flap of the tent, her mind full of bad memories. That afternoon Raylan returned, his face tense. He knelt beside her. Zephyra, you must be careful. Some people here don't want peace. Some don't trust you at all. Zephyra nodded. I know. I feel their eyes, Raylan sighed. If anything happens, stay hidden, promise me. She hesitated, then whispered, I promise. Later, as rain began to fall, Raylan gave Zephyra a small box. Inside, you'll find a tiny communicator. If you're in danger, press the button. I will come no matter what. He held her gaze. You are not alone. The words comforted her, but Zephyra sensed something worse was coming. That night, while Raylan slept, Zephyra heard new voices outside the tent. She pressed herself into the shadows, clutching the communicator. Two soldiers crept around, whispering, We could take her right now. Raylan wouldn't even know until morning, one muttered. The commander would pay us good credits, the other said. Or maybe the aliens would. She's one of them, after all. Their footsteps moved away, but Zephyra's fear grew even stronger. But it was not just the humans she had to worry about. The next day, as Raylan patrolled the edge of the camp, an alien scout ship passed overhead. Zephyra felt a sharp chill. The aliens were looking for her too. She had run from them, and she knew their rules. No one who left the clan would ever be forgiven. While Raylan was gone, a shadow slipped into the tent. Zephyra gasped, but the figure was small, just a human boy, maybe 10 years old. Are you really an alien? He whispered, wide-eyed. Zephyra nodded slowly. Do you eat humans? He asked, stepping closer. She shook her head, a tiny smile on her lips. No, I only eat fruit and bread. The boy laughed and gave her a piece of candy. Don't listen to the others. They say bad things about you, but I think you're nice. Then he ran away before Raylan could return. For a moment, Zephyra felt lighter. Maybe not everyone was an enemy, but that hope didn't last. As dusk fell, sirens blared through the camp. Smoke and fire burst near the gates in attack. Raylan burst into the tent. Zephyra, hide now. His voice was sharp, full of fear. He grabbed his weapon and handed her the communicator. Zephyra crouched behind a pile of crates as chaos raged outside. Lasers flashed, men shouted, explosions shook the ground. Through a tear in the tent, she saw aliens and humans fighting together. No sides, just violence. In the madness, a group of angry soldiers rushed toward Raylan's tent, shouting her name. Suddenly, the tent's fabric ripped open. One soldier pointed a weapon at Zephyra. You, come with us, alien. No more hiding. Raylan ran in, his face full of fury. He put himself between Zephyra and the soldiers. If you want her, you'll have to go through me. The soldiers hesitated. Outside, the battle got louder. Raylan spoke, his voice shaking but brave. She's not the enemy. Stop this madness. No one listened. Suddenly, a bomb exploded nearby, throwing everyone to the ground. Zephyra's ears rang. Raylan crawled to her side, shielding her with his body. When the dust cleared, the attackers were gone, either injured or running from the chaos. Raylan looked at Zephyra, blood running from a cut on his forehead. Are you hurt? He asked. Zephyra shook her head, but tears rolled down her cheeks. Why do they hate me? Raylan wiped the blood from his eyes. People fear what they don't understand, but you are not alone. I will protect you. As the fire burned outside, Zephyra faced a choice. She could run and hide, disappear into the darkness, or she could trust Raylan and stay no matter the risk. She made her decision. Zephyra reached for Raylan's hand, gripping it tight. Enemies were everywhere, but together, maybe they could survive. An unlikely family, the city was nothing but smoke and ruins behind them. Raylan drove the old hover truck fast, hands tight on the controls. The early morning was cold, and a silent fog covered the lonely road. In the back seat, Zephyra hugged her knees, staring out the window at fields of gold grass and tall, alien trees. They had escaped the violence of the camp, but nowhere felt truly safe. Days ago, Zephyra was just a prisoner, a peace gift handed to a human captain. Now she was running for her life with the only human who ever showed her kindness. Neither knew what tomorrow would bring. The countryside was different than anything Zephyra had known. Here, birds sang new songs. The air smelled of wildflowers, not smoke. Raylan stopped the truck near an old farmhouse, hidden under huge trees. It was quiet and empty, far from any city or soldier. He walked around, checked every door and window, and finally nodded. We can rest here, Raylan said softly. No one will find us. Zephyra followed him inside. The house was dusty but safe. The walls were filled with old human photos, families laughing, children playing. Zephyra ran her finger over one picture. Did you have a family? She asked. Raylan smiled sadly. A long time ago, the war took them. Zephyra bowed her head, understanding more than words could say. She knew what it meant to lose everything. That night, Raylan made a fire and cooked soup from the last of their food. Zephyra helped, washing the vegetables and setting the table. For the first time, she felt useful, not just a burden. They ate quietly, listening to the crackle of the fire. After dinner, Raylan pulled a small music player from his bag. He played soft songs, human lullabies, and gentle melodies. Zephyra closed her eyes, letting the music wash over her. She remembered her home, the lullabies her mother once sang. For a moment, she felt like a child again, safe in a world without war. Days turned to weeks. Zephyra and Raylan built a quiet life together. They cleaned the old house, fixed broken chairs, and planted a small garden. Zephyra learned to cook human food, sometimes burning it, sometimes making Raylan laugh. She taught Raylan a few alien words, and he taught her to read human letters. One morning, as the sun rose over the hills, Zephyra sat outside, hands on her stomach. She felt strange, tired, dizzy, and full of new emotions. Raylan noticed her pale face. "Are you feeling sick?" he asked, worried. Zephyra nodded. "Something is different." Raylan found a medical scanner and checked her vitals. His eyes widened in surprise. "Zephyra, you're going to have a baby." Zephyra froze, her mind spinning. A baby? She had never thought about such a thing, never dreamed she could have a family after all she'd lost. Raylan smiled, hope shining in his eyes. "Yes, our baby." Half human, half alien. For a long moment, Zephyra sat in silence. She placed her hand on her stomach and felt something like sunlight fill her heart. Fear and joy mixed together. "Will the world accept us?" she whispered. Raylan gently held her hand. "We will protect our family." No matter what. The months passed. Zephyra's belly grew. Raylan built a cradle from old wood, painting it with bright colors. They fixed a small room in the house, filling it with soft blankets and tiny clothes. Sometimes they danced in the kitchen, laughing at their clumsy steps. But even in this peaceful place, fear lived in Zephyra's heart. At night, she stared at the stars, wondering if soldiers would come or if aliens would find her. She listened for strange sounds and kept a packed bag near the door. Still, every morning, Raylan kissed her forehead and whispered, "You're safe, I promise." One rainy afternoon, Zephyra stood at the window, watching lightning crack the sky. She saw a shadow moving near the trees. Her breath caught. Was it a soldier? An alien scout? She called Raylan, and together they watched the shadow disappear. The next day, a package appeared at their door. No name, just a small box. Inside was a soft baby blanket, hand-stitched with both human and alien symbols. Zephyra's eyes filled with tears. Someone out there wished them well. Raylan smiled, holding Zephyra close. "We are not alone, even in hiding. Some people still have hearts." The seasons changed. Flowers grew around the house. Zephyra sang soft alien lullabies to her unborn child. Raylan told stories of his home, his hopes for a new world. And as their baby kicked for the first time, both of them realized they had found something powerful, something the war could not destroy. A family. But as peace grew inside their tiny home, trouble was growing outside. Whispers about the traitor captain and his alien bride spread through both human and alien camps. Danger was coming again. Still, Zephyra and Raylan held each other and their hope close. For the first time in their lives, they were not just survivors. They were a family, raising half-human, half-alien children. The sound of tiny footsteps filled the old farmhouse. Years passed, and laughter returned to rooms that once echoed with only fear and silence. Zephyra and Raylan's children grew fast, two little ones, with their father's curious eyes and their mother's shimmering hair. One had soft green skin that glowed gently at night. The other giggled with a voice that sang both human and alien words to the world outside. They would have been a miracle or a threat. Inside the farmhouse, they were simply a family. Raylan built toys from spare parts. Zephyra told stories from two worlds. At night, the family gathered under the stars, watching the skies for ships that never came. The children called Zephyra Amma and Raylan Papa. Their little hands learned to plant seeds, fix broken tools, and draw pictures of alien suns and human moons. But every joy came with a shadow. Raylan taught his children caution, not just kindness. Never go near the road, he warned. Never talk to strangers. Always come home when you hear the bell. Zephyra checked the radio every morning, searching for news of soldiers or alien patrols. Some nights they practiced hiding in the cellar, just in case. The children didn't understand the fear at first. They only saw a world full of color and hope. But when a bird's cry startled their mother or a passing ship made their father tense, they learned to be quiet and careful. One spring day, the oldest child, Mira, found an old photograph in the attic. She brought it downstairs, her eyes wide. "Papa, who are these people?" Raylan looked at the faded photo, his own childhood family, long gone. He sat with Mira and her brother Leo by the fireplace, telling them about the past. "This was my home, before the war. We were happy like us now." His voice shook a little, but his smile was real. Zephyra watched from across the room. Her heart ached for Raylan's loss, but also glowed with pride. Together, they were building something new from the ashes. Children grew curious about their mother's world too. Zephyra drew the shapes of her home's mountains, taught them to sing in her native tongue, and even baked sweet alien bread on special days. Sometimes Mira's skin shimmered a brighter green when she laughed. Leo, younger and quiet, could see in the dark and listen to animal sounds far away. Raylan and Zephyra loved their children's differences, but they also worried. One summer evening, a stranger knocked at their door. Raylan opened it just a crack. An old woman stood outside, wrapped in a cloak, her eyes sharp and kind. "You have children here," she whispered. "They are not like the others, are they?" Raylan froze, fear rising. But Zephyra stepped forward, holding her children close. Woman smiled gently. "Don't worry. My own son was born after the first invasion. We know how to hide, how to blend in. There are others like you." For the first time, Zephyra felt a spark of hope. They weren't truly alone. After that, sometimes packages arrived: food, warm clothes, medicine. Secret friends in the countryside watched over them. Still, rumors grew beyond the hills. A traitor captain is raising alien children. An alien bride lives in a human's house. Some said the children were dangerous, a threat to peace. Others whispered that Raylan and Zephyra were heroes. One night, the children saw their parents whispering in worried voices. Mira crept out of bed and listened by the stairs. "They know we're here," Raylan said, voice tight. "The soldiers are coming. We have to decide: stay and fight or run." Zephyra's voice trembled. "Our children are not weapons. They are just children." Raylan took her hand. "I won't let them be taken. Not by humans, not by aliens. We are a family, Zephyra. No one owns us." That night, as thunder rolled in the sky, the family gathered close. Raylan read old stories by lantern light. Zephyra sang songs that floated through the dark. The children huddled together, afraid but brave. And outside, far away but getting closer, were footsteps in the night: soldiers, searching for the family everyone talked about, but few had ever seen. Raylan checked the cellar doors and loaded his old rifle. Zephyra packed a bag with food and blankets, just in case. The children watched with wide eyes, suddenly understanding that their beautiful, strange family was both a miracle and a target. As the first flash of headlights appeared on the road, Mira took her brother's hand. "We'll stay together," she whispered. "We're not alone." Raylan looked at his children and felt both fear and pride. No matter what happened next, their family was something the world had never seen and could never destroy. The bell rang in the distance. The world was coming for them. Would love and hope be enough? The choice: fight or flee? Thunder cracked above the farmhouse, as if the sky itself could sense the danger closing in. Inside, the family moved like shadows. Raylan peeked through the curtains, heart pounding, counting headlights on the distant road. Zephyra hugged their children close, whispering calm words in both human and alien tongues. Mira and Leo watched their parents, feeling the weight of fear but also the heat of courage rising inside them. Outside, voices echoed through the dark. Orders barked, weapons clinking, boots squelching in the wet grass. Human soldiers had come. Not with mercy, but with chains and orders from men who feared anything different. Among them were alien figures too, old enemies now working together, united by suspicion and anger. Raylan's old radio crackled with static. "Captain Raylan," came a cold official voice. "By order of the Council, surrender the alien and the hybrid children. If you refuse, you will be treated as a traitor." Zephia's hands trembled. "We can't fight them all, Raylan. What will we do?" Raylan gripped her shoulder. "We do what we always do. We protect our family." The children huddled together. Mira was crying quietly, but Leo wiped her tears away. "Don't be scared," he whispered. "We're stronger than we look." Zephyra remembered a secret path that led through the woods, a path her people once used to escape hunters. She drew a map on a piece of old paper, showing Raylan the way. "If we move now, we can reach the river by dawn," she said. "But we must not be seen." The family packed what they could: food, warm clothes, a photo, Zephyra's lullaby music box. Raylan tucked his father's rifle under his coat. Zephyra tied a bright ribbon in Mira's hair, the same color her mother wore as a child. Suddenly, a loud voice rang out. "Open the door. We know you're inside." Fists pounded the wood. Soldiers moved into the yard, their flashlights swinging like angry eyes. Raylan faced Zephyra, searching her face. "I won't leave you. Whatever happens, we stay together." Zephyra nodded, holding Mira and Leo. "We're a family. We run as one." Just then, a stone flew through a window, shattering glass. Zephyra's music box fell and began to play a sweet, haunting tune. For a heartbeat, everyone froze: soldiers, children, even Raylan, listening to the gentle song of another world. Raylan moved quickly, gathering his family. "Now," he whispered. They slipped through the back door, into the wild garden and the dark trees. Soldiers broke into the front of the house just as the family disappeared into the night. Through the woods they ran, the path slippery and full of roots. Mira almost fell, but Leo caught her. Zephyra led the way, moving quickly and silently, as if her feet remembered every step from her old life. In the darkness, Raylan's voice was steady. "Quiet, everyone. Stay together. We're almost there." Behind them, shouts and flashlight beams cut through the trees. The soldiers were not far behind. Near the river, the family hid behind a fallen log. Raylan looked at his tired, scared children, his brave wife. "This is the last chance. If we cross, we might never come back." "Are you ready?" Myra nodded. "I don't want to lose our family." Zephyra squeezed Raylan's hand. "Home is where we are together." With the soldiers so close, they had no choice. They plunged into the cold river, holding hands tight. The water was fast and deep. Mira cried out as the current pulled her away, but Raylan grabbed her, fighting the water with everything he had. Zephyra carried Leo on her back, her alien strength, keeping them afloat. On the other side, wet and freezing, the family crawled onto the muddy bank, hearts racing. Raylan checked each child, counting their fingers, their toes, their breaths. They were safe for now. Behind them on the far side, soldiers searched with angry shouts and beams of light, but they could not cross in time. The woods swallowed up the family's tracks. The night hid them in its arms. For hours, they moved deeper into the wild. At last, under a blanket of stars, Raylan and Zephyra stopped to rest. They held each other close, the children asleep between them. "We're not safe yet," Raylan whispered, "but we're free." Zephyra nodded, tears on her cheeks. "Together, we can survive anything." And somewhere, far behind in the ruins of their old life, the broken music box still played its haunting tune, a lullaby for a family brave enough to choose love over fear. But in the darkness, new eyes were watching, eyes that did not belong to any human or alien soldier. The final test was yet to come. The power of love. Dawn broke over the wild river, turning the sky gold and pink. But the family dared not rest. Raylan, Zephyra, Mira, and Leo huddled together at the edge of a quiet valley. The children shivered under their father's jacket, hair still wet from the cold river. Zephyra stroked their cheeks and sang a soft alien lullaby, her voice full of hope and fear. Raylan kept watch, eyes searching the mist for signs of pursuit. They had escaped the soldiers, but not the story. News of their flight had already spread through both human and alien camps. The traitor captain and his alien bride have run away with their children. Soldiers and alien hunters joined forces, tracking footprints and asking questions in every village. The world was closing in, but there was another watcher in the woods. She was neither soldier nor spy, but something else, a witness to what happened next. As the sun climbed, the family found a place to rest among tall silver trees. Zephyra gathered berries, Raylan set traps for small animals, and the children explored quietly, staying close. Suddenly, the watcher revealed herself. She was an old alien woman, her eyes wise and full of sorrow. She wore the symbols of Zephyra's clan. The family tensed, ready to run. "Don't be afraid," the woman said, holding up empty hands. "I've come with a message. Both your people want you back, but not for kindness. The humans want the children as trophies. The aliens want to punish Zephyra for loving an enemy. War is coming again, unless you surrender." Raylan stood protectively in front of his family. "We will not be separated. We are not weapons or prizes. We are a family." The woman looked at Mira and Leo. "If you want peace, you must show them a better way." Zephyra stepped forward, voice trembling. "How? They will not listen to me. They only see an enemy." "Sometimes," said the old woman, "the smallest voice can change the loudest hearts." Suddenly, the sound of marching boots and humming. Ships filled the air. Soldiers and alien warriors surrounded the valley, weapons drawn, eyes cold. Commanders shouted orders. The family was trapped. A human officer raised his voice. "Give us the alien children, and you may go free." An alien leader shouted back, "Return Zephyra to us, or we burn this valley." Raylan's heart hammered. Zephyra clutched her children, whispering, "Stay strong. No matter what happens, I love you." But before Raylan could answer, Mira stepped out from behind her parents, holding her little brother's hand. Her voice, tiny but clear, rang out over the tense silence. "Why are you all so angry? Why do you want to hurt us?" Mira looked up at the human officer, then at the alien leader. "We just want to live together. Is that wrong?" Leo, his voice shaky but brave, added, "We are both. We are human and alien. If you hate us, you hate a part of yourselves." For a moment, no one spoke. The soldiers shifted nervously. Even the old alien woman seemed surprised. Raylan and Zephyra stepped forward, side by side. Raylan raised his hands. "We are not your enemies. We have chosen love over fear. My children are not weapons. They are a bridge." Zephyra's eyes glistened. "If you take us, the war will never end. But if you let us live, maybe there is hope for both our worlds." The old alien woman nodded, then turned to the crowd. "Look at them. Is this not what peace could be?" The moment hung heavy in the air. Soldiers lowered their weapons. The human officer looked away, shame on his face. The alien leader clenched his fists, but did not move. A single voice rose from the crowd, a young soldier, barely older than Myra. "Let them go. If we kill families, we become monsters." Others nodded. Slowly, the ring of armed men and aliens broke apart. Some wept. Some simply walked away. Raylan hugged Zephyra and the children tight, tears in his eyes. Zephyra sang a song of peace, her voice rising with hope. Mira and Leo laughed and danced among the silver trees. The old woman smiled. "You have done what no war could do. You have changed hearts." For the first time in years, the world was silent, not with fear, but with possibility. Raylan, Zephyra, Mira, and Leo walked out of the valley, hand in hand. As the sun broke free of the clouds, they were not running anymore. They were leading. The way that no one owned them. They were free of family, whole and unbroken. And in the silence that followed, hope finally found its home.